Hello? Happy Friday. How are you? I just got off a live stream. It's really late. It's like 12 a.m. Alex is on the way home from his brother's house. I don't know why I'm taking my pens in there. I took them off the table because the dogs get on the table and then they spill my pens everywhere. Alex is on the way home from his brother's. I'm gonna give PP his medicine. He's been over there tonight. They were like talking about some family stuff or something, so. PP, you want your peanut butter, honey? He's like, no. I know you're trying to trick me with those pills. Oh, shit. Oh my God. Alex just came home, so now I have to wait. Do you hear that? Crazy it is. Alright, I'll be back in just a little bit. Oh my God, it's so cold, you guys. Ooh. Oh, I'll put it on the 90 heat warmer. Oh my God, you guys. Oh my gosh, it's so cold. Okay. Oh my Lord. I have never been. You guys, I was thinking about this earlier actually. Do you remember my back hurt like 6 months ago or something? Well, I have similar pain, but it's like on the other side of my back. And it totally came out of nowhere. Like, I woke up today and my back hurt so bad, and I was like, what is that from? And you know, sometimes like when I wake up, like, I mean, part of it is just getting older, honestly. You just don't feel as well as you did when you were younger. I mean, I remember when I was 20 years old, you know, hell, I could drink 2 bottles of Jack Daniels, stay up till 6 o'clock, wake up at 10 and be ready to do it again and feel fantastic and never have a hangover, you know? But man, I'm not like that anymore. It's like, I can eat a healthy dinner, go to bed early, and hurt the next day, you know? It's just part of getting older. I mean, I don't really ever go to bed early, but, man, I haven't felt well all day today, and I had a meeting at noon today, and then I came home. I went and I ran errands. I went to the post office, and I went to the bank, and I ran some errands. Oh, damn it, I wanted to mail this envelope. Well, I'll mail it tomorrow. Anyway, I wanted to mail my homeowners association fee. Since, are you ready for this? If I pay it online, they charge me $20 to use the online service. I mean, these people are such a jip-off. It's such a joke. When I was ranting about the HOA, I mean, that was no joke. That's like seriously how I feel about these people. It's like scam artist material almost. And I almost kind of feel bad for like the old people in my neighborhood. I mean, we just pay our fee and move on. And I got my patio, so it's like whatever. I'm not gonna bitch about anything anymore, but these old people, I mean, you know, we pay outrageous fees, okay, for, you know, a gated community and a pool and this tennis court. And then to pay it online, I mail mine. It's $20. I am not joking, you guys. It is $20 to pay it online, to use their online service. I'm like, oh no, that's ridiculous. I'm not doing that. Just give you $240 or what is that? $240 a year. Just give it to you because I'd rather be lazy and pay it online. No, I can put a stamp on that. So anyway, yeah. So what was I gonna say? Oh, so I woke up and my back hurt, and so then I feel like I just kind of talked about this in my last little part of it, but so then I had my I came home and then I did a live stream, and then I stayed at my office for a little bit and got some stuff done after my meeting, and then I did my live stream, and then that was at then I took a nap with the dogs. That was so fantastic. So the dogs and I took a nap, and then I got up and I went to get the dogs new dog food because we were out of dog food. And I went and got them dog food, and then I went and got Noodles and Company, and I came home and I watched an episode of 2020 on OWN. Did you guys know that 2020 is on the OWN TV network now, that Oprah has it on there? I didn't know that. So anyway, I watched that. It was really sad. It was about this girl, and she got killed, and then like this guy that had been in the military. It reminded me kind of like of, it reminded me of 2020 or Dateline or one of those shows, you know. But and then this guy that she was friends with, I don't think they were romantic, he was killed too. The whole thing was like a setup, and it was all for money, and the neighbor downstairs needed money for his honeymoon or something, and he was like a community actor. It was all very strange, and I don't even know that I understood any of it, but I sat there and ate it like I did. And do you guys ever do that? Just watch the stupidest TV shows in the entire world? I have this thing, like, it's really weird. Like, while I'm eating dinner, I cannot watch, like, sitcoms or a movie. Like, unless we're gonna get, like, a pizza and watch, like, you know, all of our shows. I have to, like, watch, like, a reality show, or I have to, I don't know where it started for me. I used to do it with RuPaul's Drag Race. I would always get Taco Bell. That was when I was thin. I would get Taco Bell, like, every night for RuPaul's Drag Race. And I think Alex would get, like, a pizza or something. And then for American Horror Story, we used to get pizza every night for American Horror Story. We would get, for the last, not this last one, because I haven't actually finished it yet. Alex finally sat down and finished it, but I haven't. I thought this season was bad. I didn't enjoy it, the last season. But yeah, we used to get, like, do you guys do that on, like, TV nights? But now I have to, like, watch reality something. I have to, like, watch a news show or a crime show, or I'm really addicted to those building shows and, like, those revamping houses. One of my favorite shows right now, I can never remember what it's called, but it's like two sets of two people, and they're usually like best friends or brothers or coworkers or a couple or something like that. And they like, it's where you go to like a swap meet and you get like, you buy shit and then you like revamp it. Like you take a table and like you sand it and paint it and turn it into something else. And then like you have to go back to like a swap meet and sell it. And whoever can sell their stuff for the most money, I can't remember what it's like called, Swap and Trade or something like that. It's on like country music television. I watch all those country channels. I watch like the building show called Off the Grid. Oh my God, is that guy not so handsome that is the host of that with the beard, that real big guy? And then there's another show that I watch where they build log cabins. I love that show too. And then, I mean, basically I'm a coal miner's daughter. I was born to be a coal miner's daughter. Grew up on the other side of other Wheeler Holler. I don't know the words. Tanya knows all the words. But anyway, so yeah. But I love all of those country music, like television shows like that. There's one about a couple and they're real cute and they redo houses. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? She's blonde. She's got kind of like short hairdo. And then her husband's kind of like big and burly and has like a beard. And he looks very much like that rockabilly type, you know, with like flannel shirts and suspenders and jeans, that type. That type, you know what I'm talking about? That's hot, isn't it? That hipster look. That doesn't get old to me ever. I don't care what anybody says. People are like, what's your type? My type? Well, my husband's my type. But like, that doesn't mean that I can't look at attractive men. Like, hey, listen, I've said this before, okay? I mean, and if you have like a full beard and one of those mustaches that goes up, oh my God, melts the butter in the room. I don't know what it is about those full beards and those mustaches that go up. I know, like I'd probably, if my husband had one of those, I'd be like, can you just shave that off? I would. I'd be like, just, can you get rid of that? I don't like that at all. But I do like it on other guys, right? I think it's kind of sexy. And hey, listen, just because the restaurant's closed doesn't mean you can't read the menu. That's what I always say. And my husbands are allowed to look too, you know? I think that's when you know you're secure in your marriage, is when you can sit at dinner and you guys can both like go, oh, that's an attractive guy, you know? They built these new apartments here, and right underneath it they have a Fresh Time. I mean, I wouldn't even have to leave my building. I'd just go downstairs and go to a Fresh Time. That's so bougie. That's like professional 25-year-old bougie kids. There's like, you know, a Jamba Juice. There's no Jamba Juice, but there's like a Starbucks and a juice place and a Fresh Time all underneath there. They got a gym and they all like, and it's right in this area called Broad Ripple in Indianapolis, and it's like where everybody like goes out on the weekend. So basically you don't even have to have a car, but they all do. They probably all drive like, I don't know, Audis and BMWs and stuff. I kind of wish I had that life. That sounds kind of like a nice life. How many times did you let your dogs out today? Oh, 35. They pooped 3 times in the house after that. You know, it's like, welcome to growing up. Anyway, I love my dogs so much. But is that not piss you off? I mean, you stand out there in the cold with your dogs for a good 25 minutes, and then you bring them inside, and the first thing they do is poop inside the house. Oh, pisses me off so bad. Does that ever happen to you? I can't stand it. It drives me nuts. Tucker is always killing for that. He's like always the one that like, and he won't walk in the grass. So if he poops in the street, and then I have to kind of push it over into the grass with my foot. Oh, it drives me nuts. So anyway, did y'all have a good day today? I started 2 books today. And I just bought, I started Rumble by Ellen Hopkins because I'm reading it with Julia Sapphire. I got exactly 1 page read, but I started it. And then I'm like 20 or 30 pages into, and it's real short. It's only like 130 pages. The Day the Sea Rolled Back. And this was like a book that I got like when I was a little kid with my dad one weekend. And it's by Mickey Spillane. And so I ordered it on like Thrift Books or Book Depository, I think Thrift Books, sometime last year, and I had never like, it's like, so Thrift Books is like where you go and you can find books that like, they're all over the place, you know, like Thrift Books. And so anyway, I thought I had this book in my basement somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So it came in the mail, and it was like an old library book, you know? It was like, cost me like $3 or something. So I've kind of like started it, and so like really today I sat down and really started it. And then I just got on Audible before I left because I was doing some bills and I was looking up houses in Florida. Because somebody mentioned in my vlog Cutler Bay, which is very pretty, so we may end up being your neighbor. I was looking up Cutler Bay, Florida. Do you ever just like think to yourself like, screw all this nonsense, it would be so nice to just win like that Powerball, that $145 million Powerball, and then just buy like, you know, the house of your dreams. You wouldn't have to like figure out where you wanted to be and all that kind of stuff. I said that to the woman at the gas station last night. I said, I don't even know what I would do if I won that kind of money. She goes, I don't even like to shop. I thought that was the weirdest thing I'd ever heard anybody say about winning the lottery. What does that have to do with winning the lottery? I don't like to shop. She goes, I don't like to shop. Well, don't shop. Sit at home. Buy your husband a pickup truck. You know, go travel the world. My girls always want to go shop. I don't like to shop. She's so bitter. This is early. They got rid of my favorite girl at the gas station. They hired this one in there. Every time I'm like coming in the door, she's like walking outside to smoke a cigarette. She always goes like this. I always go, I'll be quick. I swear, I'll be quick. Sorry, I'm inconveniencing you actually having to work for a second at 3 o'clock in the morning while I'd like to get a bottle of water or a Gatorade or a stick of cheese. People kill me sometimes. I sometimes forget I'm actually talking into this camera. I really do. Like sometimes I totally forget it, and I think that I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know who I think I'm talking to. Is it me you're looking for? Oh my gosh. It's a hard knock life for us. Do you guys know that every day that I have vlogged this year so far, my vlogs have been over 40 minutes? There has not been one day that has been shorter than 40 minutes. And you guys beg for the longer vlogs because you do your makeup. I love it so much that you guys do. You do your makeup. Do you know what? I'm getting like a lot of comments from people, and they're like, I had my mom and, you know, grandma or my Aunt Judy or my daughter, like, you know, or whatever, like, we all watch your vlogs, and I got them started watching your vlogs, and then they're like, so, like, we'll watch it, and then we'll, like, talk about things that you talked about in there. You guys, that makes me so happy. I can't even tell you. I love that people just, like, have me on in the background, like Good Morning America, while they're doing their makeup and getting ready for work. I love that so much. Like, I get to be part of somebody's daily routine. I think it's the coolest shit out there. So if you're watching this right now while you're starting your daily routine, hey, I hope you have an amazing day today. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. You live in a shoe. Now, if you're watching this on a Friday night and you're going out with the girls, you're going to get your drink on, control your spirits, don't get too wasted. Take an Uber, don't drive, and you're gonna dance a little bit and maybe, you know, find a boy or a girl or whatever you're looking for out there, trying to, you know, couple up on the weekends. That's what we do. Valentine's Day's coming up, you know. Be safe, have fun, dance a little bit. Vogue, 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 Vogue. Greta Garbo and Monroe. I used to miss, oh God, I miss Friday night so bad. I miss Friday nights sometimes so bad. Friday nights are kind of boring for me anymore. They're just basically like Tuesday nights. Sometimes not even as exciting as a Tuesday night. But back in the day, well, maybe not Friday nights so much, because I used to always work Friday nights, like when I was younger. But Saturdays I was off, Saturday and Sunday nights, and I used to go out every Saturday and every Sunday night. I went out both nights. And do you guys see if you relate to this? So here was my Saturday. I would get off work at about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, this is back in the day, so don't come for me. I would go and I would tan, and then, what did I do? I screwed up something on my... I would go tan, and then I would get something small to eat, because you didn't want to be real bloated before you went out, right? And then I would go home, and I would eat my whatever, and then I would go work out. Oh, no, that's not what I would do. I would eat whatever, and then I would, like, take a nap for 2 hours. Oh, I always had to go to the mall and buy some outfit. I had to buy some new outfit. And back then, I was killing for going to, like, PacSun and buying, like, a Hurley t-shirt or, like, DC shoes. Like, that's kind of how I dressed when I was, like, in my early 20s. What else? Where else would I go? Or I like to kind of change my look up, you know? Like I did in the summer, like, you know, wear some like cut off jean shorts and like a brand new blue polo shirt or something like that. I loved that whole look too. So anyway, but then I'd take a nap, and then I'd get up, and then I would go work out. I would go run and lift, and then I would come home, and then I would call my friends, and then we would all meet up. Oh my God, I loved it. It was so much fun. And then we would stay out till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. Then we would get up on Sundays, and we would all meet for brunch at some place, you know, we used to go to this place here in Indianapolis called, oh shoot, why can't I think of what it's called anymore? It's a chain. It's a breakfast chain. It's gonna drive me nuts if I can't think of it. There's one right around here somewhere, I think. What is it called? Can I get to it fast enough? But anyway, we would go there. I'm gonna look up breakfast places, Indianapolis. Brunch, Indianapolis. And what is this place called that's driving me crazy? Now I'm gonna have to pull in someplace. I know there's one right around here. I cannot believe I cannot remember this place. But we would get like the skillets, you know, and they had like the best cinnamon toast in the entire world. We would get those skillets of like eggs. Well, oh, I know why I'm thinking it's right here, because here's the original pancake house that Melissa and I went to. Remember, we even went to that in the vlog one night. She was asking me about that the other night. She's like, do you remember that was so much fun? Okay. First watch. No, I don't know. Some of these places aren't really, I don't think I'd call them brunch places. The Garden Table, I wouldn't consider that a brunch place. This Maxine's Chicken and Waffles, if you ever come to Indianapolis, I think that President Obama ate there. It's supposed to be like the best. See, it says cheerful family-run spot for soul food, 5 stars. It is supposed to be one of the best restaurants in Indianapolis. Look at this. They had the Metro Diner in here. Oh, I thought that was the Metro Bar, the gay bar. Why can't I remember what this place is called? Brunch. I'm going to have to drive by it just so I can tell you. Keystone Crossing. The best 10 breakfast and brunch places near the Fashion Mall. Well, Cafe Patashu, of course, because that's where we go. La Peep! It's called La Peep. How could I forget that? Anyway, we used to go to La Peep, and I remember my friend Jennifer, she'd always tell us what we all had to tip. She'd be like, you need to tip this. Like we were all bad tippers or something. We weren't. We were good tippers. So anyway, we would all go to La Peep for brunch, and then we would go home and take naps. And then this bar back in the day called Utopia. Well, there's been a lot of bars on Sunday nights that have had, like, gay night. But Utopia was like a lesbian bar, but on Sunday nights they had, like, gay guy bar. It was very mixed. But back before that, before I got sober, the Vogue in Indianapolis, which if you've ever been to Indianapolis before and gone out in Broad Ripple, the Vogue is really famous. It used to be like a movie theater back in like the 50s or the 60s, I think, when my mom grew up there. But now it's like where a lot of bands and musicians play. So anyway, but they used to have this gay night on Sunday nights called Boing. And that was where I was the night before I got sober. So anyway, but on Sundays back in the day, we would do La Peep. Then like that changed over time because then my friend Paul and I became really, really close. He's the one that lives in Denver. We would go out to brunch on Sundays, but it wasn't always La Peep. We go to a lot of different random places because that group of friends that kind of split up after I got sober. So anyway, Paul and I would go out to brunch, and then we would go home and take naps and stuff, and then we would go out to Utopia on Sunday nights, and that's where I met my ex. And then I stopped going out. I mean, he and I went out. We used to go out to the Connection in Louisville a lot because he was from Seymour, Indiana. So we would like go visit friends or stay in Seymour for the weekend and then like drive down to the Connection. Or we would, Alex and I have actually done this a lot. Drive down to, I'm like, is there a La Peep around here? I know there's a La Peep somewhere around here. But anyway, Alex and I will drive down to Louisville and go out. I've never been to Play Louisville, which is like the new big gay bar down there, but I've wanted to go. So I need to do that. But I miss that. Like going out on the weekends, it was like so much fun back in the day, you know? Oh well. Do you hear my car? Like I was noticing when I was watching my vlog last night that it really sounds like it pulls really hard. And my dad always just says, that's a Ford. I don't even know what that means. And my dad drives a Range Rover. So I'm like, what is that? I don't even know what that means. That's a Ford. That's a Chevy. I mean, I don't know what that means. But it was funny because when Alex and I were over at his... So, okay, idealistically, if I was to move to Florida, what I would love is to have, like, a house, like, at 10th. Like, there's not even a house here, okay? But, like, I don't know, like... you know, off of like one street off of Collins or something. You know, some little hidden bungalow that had a little pool out back and a little Spanish ordeal that was built in 1950. Okay, that's not realistic. Those places don't even really exist in South Beach, okay? And if they do, I'm sure they're $5 million. And I'm basically explaining like a smaller version of the Versace mansion. So anyway, I mean, that's the truth. I am. And there's like property is so expensive. So anyway, when we were over at Alex's cousin's house, Julie Marampoyo, they built their house, and so it's like one of those like new houses where you pick like the staircase, and I mean it's not like they built it. Like my dad back in the day, like both of the houses, the house that he lives in now and the house that I grew up in, like my dad legit like sat down like with like blueprints and he drew the house the way that he like he hired a contractor and did all that kind of stuff. But people don't really do that anymore. Do people do that? I don't know if they do. Like, I know some people that do, but, like, I haven't like seen anybody do that in a really, really long time. Like where you hire a contractor and you work with them and you do the blueprint yourself. But anyway, but you know, like the houses that like, I'm sure half the people that I'm talking to right now live in houses like this. But that you could like, you just go there and you're like, oh, for this price range, you get this. And if you like you can pay for extras and all that kind of stuff. It's really a nice way to like be able to pick out like the neighborhood you want to be in and all that kind of stuff, right? Well, Pollo and Julie Marr like got their dream home. I mean, honest to God, they did. And it's such a cool house. And it has like all these things that Julie Marr wanted in it. And it's got like 4 bedrooms and 4 bedrooms and like 2 bathrooms upstairs. And they have a huge backyard, and the kitchen is like vaulted ceilings, and like she was telling us that it's like one of the things that you can pick, and that like in Venezuela she had vaulted ceilings in her kitchen, and she tried to like replicate her house that she had in Venezuela. So, and she was like really happy with what she got, and she wanted like her bedroom to overlook the backyard and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, so when we left on our way home, Alex is like, that is what I wish if we're gonna have a house in Florida, that we could have like something absolutely brand new. Well, tonight, because whoever that wonderful person is that recommended that Cutler Bay, I was looking at Cutler Bay, and there is this housing addition there that builds homes. I wish I knew more about this area, and then somebody could tell me, oh, don't do that. That's like a crap thing. It starts with it's like Linux or something like that. But they're basically these modern deals, these kind of like stucco throwbacks. They're all called different things. Like one neighborhood's called Barbados and whatever. But like I was looking at them, and they have some that are like really reasonably priced. Like they have some that start like in the low 200s. And I was like, this is extremely realistic, you know? And I mean, maybe not today, but maybe in a year or two. And they seem to be in safe areas, and you know, like they're nice little houses, and they're brand new inside. Everything is brand new. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna show this to Alex. He's gonna love this. But I don't really want to reach out to somebody right now, because I don't want somebody calling me every 5 minutes. You know, are you ready to move? Are you ready to move? No, I'm not ready to move. You know what I mean? They can get a little naggy about that stuff. But it is fun just looking at the houses. Man, if money were not an issue, there are some beautiful houses in southern Florida. Some really beautiful houses. I found a couple of my dream homes on there, honestly, I have. And you know, the thing is, I mean, in the reality of the world, like this is gonna sound so bad, because I don't have this kind of money. So when I make this statement, I just want you guys to know, I don't have this kind of money that I'm about to speak of, okay? But when I look at some of these houses, these dream homes of mine, kind of, so to speak, and they're like 800 to like $1 million bucks, like realistically, you know, of a family of 2 that's working and have gone to college, that's kind of realistic in today's time, which is baffling to me. I mean, absolutely baffling to me that, you know, like when I grew up, like an $800,000 house, who could afford it? I mean, you were lucky if family could afford, you know, $100,000 house, you know what I'm saying? $150,000 house. That was a great house, you know, so an $800,000 house. But some of these houses in southern Florida are like $2 and $3 and $4 and $5 million. You should see them, you guys. They are like, and then the other thing is on top of that is the upkeep on top of that. How do you like afford the upkeep on those houses? You know, a 10,000 square foot house with a pool and grounds and all. How do you keep that up? I don't even understand how people afford that. It's crazy. But if somebody gave it to me, I wouldn't turn it down. See, that's where like if money were not an issue and I just had a shit ton of money, I think that's like where I would spend it, in nesting, you know what I mean? And like, it was so exciting because I was looking at these houses, and some of these houses are, like I said last night, I like smaller houses, right? And so when I was looking at some of these houses, I like smaller houses that have big open plans. So like you have a kitchen that you can see, it's open, you know, it's not small, but it's like open, and it kind of goes into the living room, and then that goes into like maybe like, you know, French doors that open over the, you know, the back yard or deck. And there's a lot of that out there, you know, where our dogs could just run from room to room to room, and then the master bedroom would be on the first floor. You know, I like second story houses too, but you know what I mean? Like where the master bedroom's on the first floor, and then it's got a master bedroom, bathroom, and I love all of that. And there's a lot of that down there, you know, and I got real excited. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I like dreaming. But it's nice when your dream is that you don't need a 10,000 square foot house, and your dream is that I'm okay with a 1,600 square foot house, because a 1,600 square foot household is a little bit more realistic as far as dreams. They say I'm a dreamer. I'm not the only one. Oh, I love my life so much. I do. Okay, so my camera shut off. I don't really know why. Maybe the heat. It was almost at 30 minutes, but it wasn't at 30 minutes. So I'm turning around because I was driving into Zionsville, which is this cute little cobblestone area with all these little cute little houses. And see, I would love to live in an area like this, but in Florida, but with little like Spanish houses. I think that would be so cute. And then Alex's mom could come and stay with us on the weekends, not all the time. I love his mom. She's so easy. I mean, you know, like, to have a mother-in-law that you love as much as I love mine, that is so easy, I mean, is just like, she's so easy, you know, like to get along with, and just, we've never once, she and I have never, and I can't believe this, never once in 10 years had a fight, had an argument, had anything. And, so anyway, yeah. I was listening to a little bit of my audiobook, and I let my camera cool down, listening to that Lily and the Octopus. And then after this, I think I'm going to listen to that Art of Tidying Up, because Alex has been listening to it. And then I think when I finish that, I'm going to listen to that You Are a Badass. I had somebody tell me that that book was really, really good like 2 years ago, and I got it on Audible, and I've never listened to it. So I think I'm going to listen to that, and then listen to some fiction. Sometimes I like to kind of like declutter my mind a little bit, and there is a Bentley place over there. There is not. I want to drive over here and see this. Oh my God, this is crazy. There is an entire, look at this. Look at this. I just want to show you guys, okay? I am like in this nowhere area, okay? Do you see this? Payless Liquors right here. There's like this small little town. Do you see this? And then look what I am passing by right here. Bentley of Zionsville. Seriously? I think I'll just go in there and buy a Bentley. I mean, let me show you why this totally does not fit. There's a Dairy Queen right there. Oh my God, they have the ice cream cakes in the windows. I love ice cream cakes from Dairy Queen. That kind of cracks me up that they have that Bentley place right here. There is this like bookstore here. This is, look, right here. Do you see this? That house right there? That's an ice cream store called The Scoop. Isn't that adorable? And then, like, I've shown this area before, but I want to show you this bookstore if I can find it. It's an old house. I think I've passed it already. I have passed it. There's like a bookstore, and it's like in this old house, and it so reminds me of this book that I read when I was a little kid called Help, I'm a Prisoner in the Library, and I really want to go in there sometime, but I never come here during the day. Tanya and I are always like, oh, let's come here during the day and we'll walk around, we'll have lunch at some place, you know, some little cute restaurant. We never do it, but whatever. So Alex was over at his brother's house tonight. They had to rape us. And then they, people ask me all the time what those are, because so this is my hat. It says, I eat a rapist. It's like Google search it and look it up and see what it is. It looks like a little pancake, but it doesn't taste like a pancake. It tastes like how pancakes are sweet. It tastes more like a corn muffin, kind of, and but not sweet at all. And then you open it, you cut it open, or you like just turn it over, like two little like you cut it in the middle and turn it over, and then like you can put like all kinds of stuff on it. I thought for the longest time, because like Alex and his like brother Fufu and his mom, like they just stuff it with stuff like cheese and like canned ham. Like Alex, he loves that like devil's ham, canned ham stuff in it. Looks like cat food. I always just put cheese and butter in it, or like guacamole sometimes I'll put in it. And then there's this, so anyway, my favorite Venezuelan thing is yuca. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's like a root, and it tastes kind of like potatoes, but I think better. And then you can like dip it in this stuff that's like, they make it homemade, and it's called wasikaka. And it's like this whitish green stuff. And I don't even really know how to explain it. It's kind of spicy, but not really. It's just good. It's just really good. So anyway, but yeah, so what was I gonna say? I don't even know. Oh, so he went over to his brother's house tonight. They were talking about some family stuff. And he was like, do you want to come? He was like, Liliana's making a rapist, and the kids are here, whatever. And I was like, I think I'm just going to stay home tonight. My back was really killing me. And he went over there as soon as he got done with work. And so then he came home, and I got off my live stream, and we talked for a little bit and about what was going on. And then he was like, I'm going to go to bed. He has to work tomorrow all day. So he was like, I'm gonna go to bed. So he went to bed. That was like, he got home at like midnight from his brother's. That's like so interesting to me. Like whenever I would like go hang out with my family, it was always like an hour or two max. Like his family, when they get together, it's always like 5 or 6 hours. It's never just like a half an hour. You know what I mean? Like it's long. And that's why sometimes like I don't like always like, if I could just go and stay for an hour or like 2, you know, and then like check out. But just to sit there and like just be present for 4, that's really hard for me, you guys. I always am like wanting to read a book or, you know, watch a TV show or call somebody and whatever. So we were supposed to watch all of our TV shows tonight, but he ended up going over there. But he needed to go over there, so that's fine. And what is that over there? I've never seen that. It's like a bridge or something. I'm like in an area of town that like I never go. I've been here like 3 times on my vlog, but other than that, I've never been here before. Halloween was one of them. Christmas time was another one, and now this, I think. But anyway, he has to work all day tomorrow. I have a meeting in the afternoon from 1 to 3, and then I'm done for the day. I'm done for the weekend, thank God. And then I feel like I have like worked so hard this week, just doing all different kinds of things. And I've been working on this book, and it's a book that I've like picked up and put down, picked up and put down. It's very relevant though right now to a lot of stuff that's going on in our world. It's an addiction. It's about addiction. It's a fictional addiction book. But it's so, like, the issues around it are so sad that, like, I get real bummed out working on it. But I think it's an important book to tell. And so, and I'm trying to be true to the characters. I don't really know how to explain it. I don't know if my creative, you know, I don't have any friends that are writers. I don't have any other writers that I talk to, you know? So it's like, I don't know, like, what my creative process is like in regards to theirs or other, you know, like, authors that are out there. And, like, and I don't consider myself, like, I mean, I should, you know, but I don't consider me, you know, because I have publishing deals and all that kind of stuff, but I don't consider myself an author, like, I mean, I'm not like a John Green or, you know, Julie Murphy or somebody like that, but I'm still an author and I still write. And, you know, even if you never have a work published and you just write and write and write, you're still a writer. You're still an author, you know? And, I remember my last sponsor, like, he really had me, like, work on that. Because, like, when people would ask me what I did, like, I really struggled, you know, because I wasn't a counselor anymore. I wasn't really doing life coaching anymore. And, but I wasn't an author. I don't consider myself like a YouTuber. Like, I don't really know, like, and you know what's really interesting is that I had this friend of mine that, like, lived in Europe for like a long time. And we had this conversation one time, and I remember he said to me, like, he lived all over in Europe, and he said to me one time, he's like, you know what's interesting is, like, you know, and I think it's more of like a United States thing to ask somebody, like, what, like, when you meet them, like, so what do you do for a living? He was like, people don't really ask that over there. Like, that's not one of the first questions you would ask somebody, like, what do you do for a living, you know? And I always, like, ever since that conversation, I don't even know if that's true, you know, but ever since that conversation, I've always thought, like, it is weird that that's like that's like an identifier of like who we are, you know what I mean? That we identify ourselves by what we do in life for a living, you know what I mean? When, to be honest with you, today, like, what I do that pays my bills is very little of who I am as a person, you know, like, out of what I spend the most time doing today is writing, and more than that, making YouTube videos. I'm like, that's what I love to do the most, is make YouTube videos, do my vlog, come up with the ideas, film it, upload it, be on social media. So, I mean, if you ask me what I did, I'm a YouTuber, really. I'm a dude with a camera, you know what I mean? But like, that's not the majority of where my income comes from, so not even slightly. I wish I could just, you know, do this completely. I love it so much. I wish, honestly, like, I love all my other channels. Well, I wouldn't probably give up any of my channels, honestly, but this is like my favorite. Like, if I could financially live off of just vlogging my life, I would love that, you know, but I'm telling you right now, that will never happen, okay? Not on the AdSense money that comes off of this channel. But, you know, in the YouTube, I think people have kind of I don't know what people think about YouTube money. Like, I don't know if people think like you can make a shit ton. It could be like very lucrative, or it could be not lucrative at all. And it really depends on, you know, your views and how consistent they are and the month of the year. And the thing is like where I'm at, I can't depend on that. You know, if I had 2 million subscribers, well, sure, I'm every month going to make something that is going to be pretty large, but I'm not like at that point right now, you know what I mean? Like, where I can depend on that. That's scary. I'm not willing to do that. I think a lot of people quit before they should. You know, they quit jobs before they should, because like they'll get one really good YouTube check and then they think that's what it's going to be like forever. And I'm like, that is not a smart move. But everybody's got to take risks in life, right? You can always go get a job afterwards, I guess. It's different, though, when you've built, like, a career, you know, like... And I love what I do, so I feel very blessed to, you know, have the career that I do, and go in and help people with team building and stuff. Like, I enjoy that, you know? And I will tell you, one of the things I enjoy about it that I thought I would never say is that one of the things I loved in the past was building relationships with people over a long period of time. But one of the things I kind of like now is that, you know, like, I'll go in, like, let's just say if I go into, like, I'm passing, like, a rallies. Let's say if I go into a rallies and they hire me to come in there and do, like, a team building weekend, right? Where I do, like, leadership building and team building or whatever. Well, like, I get to know all those people for, like, a weekend. You know, I might get to know them all for, like, the day that I go in there and do it, which might be, like, 3 hours. But after that, like, that's kind of the extent of my relationship with them, and I don't have to, like, take it home and worry about them, worry if they're hurting themselves, you know what I mean? Like, that can be, like, that's really an emotional stress that goes along with being in the, you know, the helping industry. That's hard. And, you know, after 13, 15 years, I was kind of burnt out on it, honestly. It was like, I'm not the kind of person that working in that field can just clock out. I'm not. And I worked with a lot of people that really could just clock out. I mean, they really, really could. They had, like, no emotional investment. And it just kind of made me sad sometimes. The people that I found that were really good at what they did were the people that were sometimes clocking in 17 to 20 hours a day. And, because you had to, you know? And that you had a really hard time disconnecting when you went home. And it's interesting because, like, in, like, the field of social work or medicine or nursing or whatever, they always tell you, you know, like, you gotta leave it at home, or you gotta leave it at the door. You can't take it home with you. And it's interesting because, like, anybody that I've ever known that's, like, really good at what they do, work in the service industry, or not in the service industry, but, like, at the helping industry professionally, cannot leave it at the door. Now, they don't become consumed with it, you know what I mean? But, like, you go home and you do worry about something that happened during that day. You know, I think that's normal. And I'm just really thankful I always had a 12-step program and my sponsor to get me through that stuff, you know, that I could call my sponsor and just be like, I am so stressed out right now, like, you know, I don't know what to do, and this happened today, and whatever, you know. Because back in the day, I mean, man, I had some days, you know, working in a treatment program. I had a day that, I've told this story on here before, but I'll never forget it. So I had a day treatment patient, and he was dating one of my residential patients, but I didn't know they were dating. His mom called him in sick. She had a home pass. I was not very nice to her. She called me at home. It was the weirdest thing. Like, I'd never had a patient call me at home. I didn't even know how they got my number. One of the techs gave my number to her the night before. But anyway, so she was going on a home pass the next day. Well, she took him with her because she wanted to introduce her family to him. And when they were on the interstate, they were like going back and forth with like this like pickup truck next to them, and they like flipped this guy off, and the guy like flipped him off and like swerved his like truck to like scare him, thinking they were just a couple of kids. And they swerved and lost control of the car. It went across the median. It was the only part of the interstate that did not have a rail. It was like literally 100 feet that didn't have a rail. They went across the interstate and they were T-boned by a horse trailer, and they were killed instantly. And I will never forget getting that call. Never. And just horrific. And I'm not going to retell that story because I've told it on here before, but I'll never forget those kids. Her parents and siblings got a law passed in Indiana about road rage in her name. You know, and just the countless overdoses, the countless deaths, and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. Just, it's so sad to me, you know, looking back. But there's been a lot of successes too, you know. There's been a lot of people that I worked with, or I indirectly worked with, that have been really successful and that contact me, you know, on a regular basis. Teresa, who took me out to lunch, and she's been on here. I mean, she's super successful. She's married and, you know, like has a great job. And, you know, I mean, it's just, and I'm proud of her, you know. She went to the recovery high school and everything. She's told her story. So she came on here and told her story. So it's not like I'm stealing her story from her. But I don't miss that. I don't miss that intense. That stupid yellow light is on again, like it's gonna go off. I don't miss that intense. I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I miss like going in and it being like, you know, like, oh my God, we'd have to literally, I'd walk in the door and we'd have to have a meeting about, you know, something that was going on and how were we gonna handle it and how were we gonna deal with it. I miss that, you know, that kind of intensity. But most days I don't, especially when I'm putting down on my gratitude list on a daily basis, peace, serenity, and having a relaxing day and remaining calm. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say that those were things, attributes of my life back then, but my life is different today. And they say you change your career like 9 times in your life or something like that. I think that's interesting. 5 times or 9 times or something. I don't know who they are, but I've heard that said before. Do you think that's true? If that's true, I wonder what my next career will be, you know? It's interesting when I look through all the things that have happened in my life. It's kind of like there's like this string that like connects them. They all just kind of like go from one to the next to the next to the next. They like all kind of like interweave, which is kind of cool, you know? Like I look at like how I met my publisher, and I met her as a result of our website that, you know, we started, and we started our website as a result of a meal that Alex and I were having talking about Perez Hilton, you know, and had I not met Alex, you know, I wouldn't have done that. Had I not done that, I wouldn't have started writing my book and got published. If I hadn't done that, I would never have probably, you know, have my publisher say, hey, maybe you ought to look at BookTube, which is how it started me on YouTube, which YouTube is now where I'm at now. And this vlog I started as a result of losing subscribers last year, which is exactly